Hi, welcome back to Finding Your Inner Guide, using your emotional intelligence to help you cure your bad mood and to live your better life. This is week 3. Thank you to Psychologists for putting this course on. My name's Julie Leoni. I'm a life coach and a teacher of psychology. I went to India in my 20s and started meditating. I teach yoga. I teach emotional well-being and intelligence in schools and other organisations, and I coach clients one-to-one, mainly women, to move them in the direction that they want to go in their life. So welcome to week 3. Week 1 we had a look at your emotional history, what you've inherited from your family, the emotional scripts that you got from your family. And then last week we were starting to work with the words that you learned in week 1 to apply them to yourself, using your body to tune into how you feel emotions in your body, and then how to become more aware of how they're helping you, even the ones that we think of as bad emotions. We then learn a kind of soothing exercise so that when we're getting overwhelmed, we have a way of bringing ourselves and calming ourselves down. So this week is looking at emotions in relationship, because very often that's where our emotions show up more strongly, and it's really easy to say, oh, they made me feel like that. So let's just start right there. They made me feel like that. When I first started learning about counselling and psychotherapy, there was a whole kind of way of thinking, so no one can make you feel anything. And to some extent, I go with that. Yeah, we're responsible for our own emotional responses. However, I think that there's also an element of dishonesty about that, because of course we know that certain people and certain actions and behaviours can trigger us. So this week it's really asking us to explore those relationships and how we're going to respond to them. So on the handout there was a whole grid which asked you to number how you feel when you're with people. So the idea would be that if you were with somebody who, when you're with them, makes you feel tense and tight and difficult and defensive, and might make you not want to share what you're thinking, might want to make you go quieter, but also you might go the other way and be more rebellious and more bolshy, that you would give them a very different mark from if you were with somebody who makes you laugh, who you can feel like you can really be yourself with, who completely accepts you and gets you and sees you once for all. So it was a scoring exercise. So the point of doing that is because becoming aware of the people that we have in our lives can make a really big difference to our emotional intelligence. So if you go back to week 1 when we were talking about Daniel Goleman, part of emotional intelligence is my own self-awareness and how I express that, but it's also aware of what's going on with the other people and how that interacts with me. So the classic thing that we might notice is that we've been spending time with people who tend to be negative. Often we have those people in our lives where they moan, complain, never have anything good to say about themselves. They tend to maybe put other people down and complain about other people. And we get that feeling when we've been with them that we're just exhausted. Or we might have people in our lives where we feel like we're giving all the time. So we might be the listener, or we might be the one supporting or solving their problems. And again, we can come back from spending time with those people feeling tired, drained, and also a little bit like, oh, what about me? They weren't interested in me, and we haven't kind of put ourselves into that relationship. So what do we do with those people? Because some of those people will be colleagues, people that we meet at the school gate that we actually see all the time and we can't avoid. So the key bit here is knowing that you can't change them. We can never change anyone else. We can only change our response to them. And you'll know that if ever you've been with those kinds of people and you've tried to counter argue, if they're saying, oh, so-and-so is awful, and you say, oh yes, but they do this, this and this, that just goes on and on and on and on, and you never change their mind, and actually you end up feeling frustrated or irritated by that. So your choice is not to put energy into changing them, it's to put energy into changing yourself. So obviously the simplest thing to do, where possible, where you notice those people showing up in your life, is to gently step back from them with all respect, wishing them all the best in the world, but just spending less time with them slowly, maybe kind of shortening the amount of time that you see with them. So maybe just kind of take a minute now, press pause on the video and think, who are the people who drain me of energy, who make me feel tired when I've seen them, and how can I spend less time with them? Now, of course, there'll be the other group of people who have that effect on us, but actually they're family and we're stuck with them, or they're our boss, so we're stuck with them. So what do? We can't change them, we can't withdraw from them. Well, one of the things that is a practice is to practice compassion for them, which doesn't mean that we're kind of agreeing with them or we're letting them off the hook, but we're just having some compassion for where they are. So for example, there's somebody, a client that I'm working with, who finds it really difficult to be positive. And actually that's because she didn't get much positivity when she was growing up, and she's had a few negative life experiences. So actually I can find compassion for that. I can understand, I can soften my heart towards that person and step out of judgment and blame, which doesn't mean to say I'm going to try and fix them or make it better or soften my boundaries, but it does mean I'm going to have some empathy for why they're like that. I'm not going to try and change them because this is a big job. Now, sometimes, of course, we don't always know what somebody's story is, but I come from the position that we're not born miserable and negative. Now, Martin Seligman's research said that actually the type of mothering that we have might make us more optimistic, and there's a slight hint of biology that some people are born more optimistic than other people, but his research shows that actually optimism can be learnt. So for ourselves, that's if we tend to be one of these people where we're a bit negative, then actually read Martin Seligman's work on optimism. How we explain things and how we think about things can really make a difference. So even if we don't understand why somebody's negative or critical or moany, then coming from a place of compassion that they wouldn't be doing this if there were another way for them available, and there obviously isn't at the moment. So we don't have to engage and join them with the whining and the moaning, because that just feeds it, but we can be compassionate, not feed it, and kind of keep ourselves protected from it. If, however, there's people in your lives that you just feel excited about, and this could be that you've got your best mates and they're the ones you have fun with, but also it might be the person at work who you only see at the coffee machine, but they really make you laugh. And it's about increasing your time with those people. So making sure you're at the coffee machine at the same time as them, or asking them if they want to go for lunch, because actually laughter produces endorphins, it makes us feel good, it boosts our immunity, it counteracts cortisol, which is our stress hormone. So it's really important to be having a good laugh with people in your life, and spending more time with those people, even if they're not people that you know brilliantly, making the effort to phone up that funny friend so you just have a laugh once the kids gone to bed, so that you're connecting with them, building those relationships, but also optimizing your own sense of well-being. Now, there's a model that's not in the workbook that I'm going to offer to you. It's not my model, it's Stephen Cartman's model of the drama triangle. So Google the drama triangle. It's a piece of transactional analysis, and it's brilliant for understanding conflict and the roles that we get into. So you might start off as the victim going, oh, it's awful, so-and-so did this to me, it's just terrible. And the victim tends to have that kind of whiny, small body language. And then if we're playing victim, we're inviting somebody to rescue us. So we want someone to fix this. And often we are the rescuer. So someone's going, oh, it's awful, and you want to make them better. And so you pile on in there and try and fix things for them. And then what happens is they maybe feel more like a victim, or you get frustrated at some point and you think, come on, do something different. And then you become the persecutor. So the drama triangle is a way that we relate to people in an unhealthy way. And it explains all sorts of kind of war and interpersonal and intrapersonal conflicts. So I can do it to myself. If I've got a piece of chocolate cake, I might think, oh, poor me, I've had a terrible day, I deserve chocolate cake, and that would be victim. And then I might rescue myself by going, oh, go on, you can have chocolate cake, you've had an awful day, rescue. And then I can beat myself up, persecute, oh, you shouldn't have had chocolate cake. So we can do it to ourselves internally, and we do it to other people, and it's a real source of conflict. So maybe at the end of this video, go and have a look at, there's lots of videos about, which is why I didn't do it, there's lots of other people talking about the drama triangle. So really this session is about thinking, who are the relationships that give you energy, that light you up, where you can be intimate. Now, my definition of intimate here is not to do with sex. There's a great way of understanding intimacy, and that means into me see. So can you really see into me who I really am? Who are those people? Who are the people that drain you and make you feel tired? Can you step away from those people with love and compassion? If you have to be with them, how can you limit that time and not feed their negativity, again by finding compassion for them? And how can you optimize your time with the people who make you feel good? So there's many more of these tools and techniques in my book, 6 Steps to Relationship Recovery. There's a great tool in there about mapping your circles of friends, which kind of develops these ideas. And there's some ideas about this in my book, Love Being Me. Obviously, there's the stuff on my website, julieleoni.com. So take a look, and I'll see you for our final session next week on session 4. So take care.